What is going on, everyone? Welcome to the North Shore 9 post-game show, sponsored by Permanente Brothers. I'm Neil. I'm here with Doug. Doug, can you believe it? Another Pirates loss, another Pirates shutout. How are we doing today?
Yeah, no, I mean, we're leading the league in shutouts. I'm fine. I'm good. But yeah, I mean, we're not going to talk a whole lot about the offense, or at least not positively. There's only one thing, really, only one thing to discuss is Braxton Ashcraft,
Yeah,
that we haven't covered before. Yeah,
yeah. At least that's a positive.
I mean,
I think Jim says it like we always get the best shows. I feel like the run of shows we've had in the past couple of weeks have just been absolutely brutal in terms of things to talk about. So
yeah.
we'll hop into all that. First, let's quickly get about our friends from Bet Online. Bet Online is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for all your sports betting action. Baseball season is in full swing, and we're into the NBA and NHL playoffs. And Bet Online has more ways to stay in on the action with the latest odds, news, scores, even live in-game betting when the games are being played. With the largest selection of odds on everything from MLB, NBA, NHL, and UFC, BetOnline remains the best online source for all your sports wagering info. In between games, head over to BetOnline Casino with all the top Vegas-style games, including poker and live casino. BetOnline, the game starts here.
Mm.
So, before we actually, I want to start in the eighth because I feel like what happened in the eighth is just the encapsulation of the season in a nutshell.
It's funny you say that. I say, yeah, the eighth inning is a microcosm of the Pirates season. It's
Yeah,
perfect
like
example. Yeah.
it's so frustrating. You get a break. Obviously, you're down 5-0, so you're scraping for anything. But you get a break. IKF reaches on a fielding error by Suarez. O'Neill Cruz works a fantastic walk. Andrew McCutcheon works a fantastic walk. You put the bases loaded, nobody out. We're all talking about how high the vibes are in the Don Kelly era. This is where we're supposed to come back, get a nice resounding win, start off our time in Arizona, and it goes with a Brian Reynolds strikeout, Spencer Horwitz pop up, and Joey Bart ground out, and it's game over. And
That's
we
right. That's
lose
your
5-0.
3, 4, and 5 hitters. All
Yeah,
right. That's your two-time All-Star, your main offseason acquisition, and then the best hitter that you've ever acquired, Ben Cherington. And right. I mean, didn't come on. You couldn't somebody couldn't get a fly ball to the outfield to score a run. I mean, it's just right. I mean, it's we complain about the 6, 7, 8 guy, 7, 8, 9 guy. We complain about, but this whole lineup fails consistently, regularly. Um, yeah, I mean, again, that's the heart of the order that used to be called. It's and you get nothing. You don't even get good at bats necessarily, and
no,
yeah, and it just sums up. It just sums up this season that this team can't hit. They've made bad decisions, bad moves. You know, right? And Arizona and San Diego are house of horrors for us anyway. We have been so awful against these two teams, and you have a chance. I mean, this is a game we started with a leadoff double, and got nothing out of that. Right. So
yeah,
you lead off double, and then you got your 2, 3, and 4 guys come up, and you think you could move them along, but no. I
well,
mean, we don't threaten, we don't put pressure on opposing team pitchers and defenses, and
mhm.
I don't see it changing.
No, and so the 3, 4, and 5 hitters go 0 for 12 today. The team as a whole hits 0 for 8 with runners in scoring position. We lead, like you mentioned, we lead the league in shutouts. We are last in the league in runs scored. I'm almost positive, and you can correct me on this. I'm almost positive we're dead last. We lead the league in double plays. I think we're at the top, if not close to the top in strikeouts. So just like every stat imaginable,
Yeah.
this
Well,
offense
here's
is
one for
high.
you. This is what I like. The Colorado Rockies are on pace for a historically bad season. They're on pace to win 28 games. 28 games, right? And they score more runs than the Pittsburgh Pirates. I- yeah, yeah. How bad does it have to get? Um, and again, it's not like there's great options in the minors, but I'd rather see Nick York, right? I mean, there are things you could do. At least change it up, and we stick like we're bringing up pitchers all the time and shuffling pitches back and forth, and you bring up Ashcraft. We weren't really expecting that at this point. Um, and they brought up Burrows, but man, you won't bring up a hitter. And this team desperately needs hitters. Um, and yeah, it doesn't make and I guess that's what makes it more frustrating, right? We suck, and everybody knows we suck, but we don't accept. It seems Ben Charrington and Bob Nutting who think that hey, we can still get back into this with this lineup with this roster. Um, no, sir, you cannot. You cannot.
Mhm.
I think, I don't really want to pick on those 3, 4, 5 guys, so much. They are whatever, are some of our better hitters, and you shouldn't just have to count on them. But again, they sort of had chances today. They had the first inning where those guys should have produced a run with a leadoff double. They have the eighth inning. When you get nothing from your best hitters, you don't stand a chance. And I mean, the problem with the team is we always have a stretch of 3 or 4 guys that go over, right? And
Mhm.
you string some other guys will get some hits here and there, but we're not getting 5 or 6 good at bats in a row. That's for sure.
I'm going to pick on the center of the lineup a little bit just because, like, it doesn't matter if this is a tanking season. It doesn't matter, like, regardless of like what the expectations were. 606, 606, 655 are the OPSs of our three central hitters of the lineup.
Of our
It's not
murderers
good
row.
enough.
Yeah, not
It's not.
close. Right,
It's not good enough. It's embarrassing. Like, again, like 2021 had a better offense.
right.
Josh
Yeah,
Van Meter playing first base and catcher made for a better offense than what we have in 2025. And like, it's not. We say this every time. It's not fun to watch.
right.
Again, it's
When
not
we
fun. It's
Yeah,
not fun watching us go 0 for 7 with runners in scoring position. It's not fun watching us leave 8 on it because we get base runners. Cruz made it twice on base. Kutch made it twice on base. Canario gets on base twice. Frazier gets on base twice. Like, some sort of capitalization has to come on
right.
because this was a boring game to watch.
Yes. When you look back at some of those earlier teams, you had Ben Gamel hitting doubles and home runs. You had Michael Chavis, right? And these guys aren't good or anything. They're not good, but they I think Chavis had like 16 home runs and he had some double. We don't have any of that now. Right? I mean, Josh Palacios would be the fourth best hitter on his team. Uh, um, Connor Joe. I mean, Connor Joe would be much better than Tommy Pham. It's you know I mean, it's dreadful, it's boring, it's uninspiring, and there's nothing they're doing, and there's nothing in the minors that makes me think it's going to get any better. And I have no
Well,
confidence in him making a trade that will make things get better.
well, let me ask you this because let's try to at least bring something new to this. And I'll ask you this question: who would you rather see catch games going forward, Henry Davis or Joey Bart?
Right, it's
Because
easy.
I am legitimately at the point where I am tired of seeing Joey Bart play catcher for this team. If he's not going to be some spark power bat, then I don't really want him.
No,
He's
no, no, no,
not
no.
doing well enough. He doesn't call good games. His catching defense is poor. Davis somehow, some way, has become an actually really good defensive catcher. I think
I,
this year in this limited amount of time he's shown much more ability to call a game and play defense from the catcher position better. And you might as well just let the bat ride, you know?
right.
Like,
Well,
am I going crazy
yeah.
here?
Well, no, not at all. I mean, first of all, Bart started out okay, but now he's basically now turned into a when he does hit, it's a single.
Yeah.
It's Triolo without the defense kind of thing, and it's been a couple weeks now, of just really, really no, zero production. So yeah, and I've said this to you several times. I want the Henry Davis question answered, and we've seen the improvement defensively. You rode with Austin Hedges all that time. You've said many times that you value defense at catcher. Now, the problem is there's nowhere else you can put Joey Bart, but I'm fine with that. Joey Bart's not. He's certainly not earning playing time with anything other than his bat, and his bat's not earning it either.
Yeah.
And there's another person we could extend this conversation to. It's Brian Hayes, and now at least the defense is there. But man, he's not doing anything with the bat. And
Mhm.
I, I want them to bring up Nick York, and but I don't want to sit Canario, and you don't want to sit Adam Frazier right now because he's actually hitting while he's on his hot streak. You want to ride it. So my mind is Frazier or York should be getting some at bats at third base because Triolo can't do it.
Yeah. Well, I was about to say, I do not want to see Nick York at third base. I think that would kind of be a disaster. Um, but
Okay, he could play second. Frazier could play third,
if
or
Frazier can
IKF could
play
play third,
third,
or yeah.
yeah, I mean, yeah, let that happen because you're right. Hayes just cannot. No matter how hard he hits the ball, he can't get on base. His OPS is now at 568. Yeah, give
Yeah.
York a shot. Like, has York been killing AAA? Not at all. He's actually been really disappointing. I'm really, really worried that he's running such high ground ball rates. I think last I checked, it was at 59%, which is just not what you want to see.
Right.
But at the same time, like, man, just inject some new life. Like, at least, Spencer Horwitz hasn't exactly hit the ground running, but at least he's interesting.
He
um,
seems to be an every other game player. He's over 4 and then he does something, but that's better than most of what we have because most of them are no days, players.
yeah.
Um, it's just ridiculous. Um, I just don't know. I'm so tired of hearing about their internal projections that like, look, we just need to be patient. Patience is not. We've been patient for 5 years, right? We've waited and we waited and we were very patient, saying, okay, you just got to get through some of this, and then nothing you've done has panned out. Um, I want Jeff
Well,
Lunau to be our general manager. He got fired for the
mm,
cheating scandal there in Houston. At least they're proof that he was trying to win. And his
yes,
first
I
round
am.
picks, his first round picks were spectacular, right? He
Yeah,
drafted Kyle Tucker and Alex Bregman and George Springer. He got good years out of his first round picks. Um, but this is just. Again, none of this makes any sense. Continuing with these lineups, continuing running out Bart and Hayes and Pham is just insane. Sticking with Ben Cherington is just insane. None of it makes any sense. You just don't. I followed bad pirate teams in the past. Many of them, obviously, um, but at least you could see what they were doing. It's like, okay, it makes sense to play Tony Womack. Okay, right? I get it. We should try. Brian Giles out. It made sense that you gave Chris Dovey some run after he had 2 really good months at the end of the year, and you tried these different things, but none of this. I mean, again, this is Hayes' sixth season. I think he's proven what he is by now. Right? We're not. I know there's been some injury, and I know, but there's not been a lot of signs of him being a good hitter. And
no.
if we're gonna, attach, 3 good months at the end of 23 and 1 good month is September of 20, and that's his. That's it. That's it. That's not enough. Been a million players who've come up and had 3 good months and have never heard from again. So
Mhm.
You know.
Chris Duffy will always live eternally in my heart.
Oh
Uh,
gosh, I was so high on him, but yeah, I mean,
no,
it
it's brutal. Like,
right.
and
I
it's
mean, just at some point, I don't know. Can you imagine running any other enterprise like this, where you had, failures, employees who cannot do the job, but you're like, well, I don't know. Remember, he did have that one good day, that time, where he met his quota, and it's like, let's give him another 3 years. I mean, it just, sometimes you just have to cut some people loose. I mean, it's, whatever. It's sad, but it's just a reality. Like, we can't score runs.
yeah.
We can't score runs. You
Well,
know.
and then see for the good people at home, you can see what happens when you force Doug to watch a weekend of Pirates baseball in person. It gets him going. He can't
Now,
do
now,
this.
let me be clear. I went to 3 games last week, and the Pirates won all 3 games.
Oh,
Um,
okay,
so,
fair enough.
so yeah, yeah. I mean, unbelievable the odds of that. So
No, that's
y- y-
fair.
yeah.
Well, okay, let's
The two
move on.
games I had to do the podcast, it was you and
Yeah,
I, and they lost
yeah.
those games.
Well,
So,
yeah.
so
So,
I think
yeah.
I'm better off in person than I am. Maybe we don't want me on the podcast. I'd survive a lot of the time
Doug is
anyway.
the
So,
anti-Rosati. Doug can nullify the Rosati curse as long as Doug is there. Jim's black magic can't hurt us.
yeah, exactly.
Um,
It's hoodoo
let's not talk
voodoo.
about the offense. Um, but man, so Andrew Heaney wasn't very good today either. He goes five runs, sorry, well, 5 innings, 5 runs, 8 hits, 3 walks, 2 strikeouts, and 2 homers.
Yeah.
If anything, he is lucky he did not give up more.
Right. Right.
He
He really didn't
was
have it tonight.
no,
Nope.
and like it's hard to be like when you sign Andrew Heaney and his career, he's always been like a 4 ERA guy. Like he's always been prone to this type of blow up. Like that's just kind of his game. So it's really hard to be too mad at him for a day like today, especially like you mentioned. Like we just don't win in Arizona. We don't
All
win
right.
in Arizona, so like clearly this wasn't meant to be. And so still 3.41 ERA on the season despite this blow up. But no, this was probably one of his worst starts in a Pirates jersey so far.
Right. He just couldn't locate, as Jim said in the chat. He just couldn't locate. It's one of those days. I mean, really, we've gotten more out of Heaney than we expected. Well, we
Mhm.
never expected him to have a 3.41 ERA, especially after giving up 5 and 5. That raised it to that. So, we've probably been living a little bit on borrowed time with him. But
Mhm.
again, that's been about the only positive signing that he made in that last offseason. Well, maybe
Mhm.
some of those, Caleb Ferguson, some of those guys. But right. I mean, Heaney's been a pleasant surprise. He's been pretty solid. He had a bad outing. Every pitcher has them every year. So, as long as he doesn't string a slew of them together, it's
Yeah.
fine. I'm not too scared of his next outing.
Yeah, and I wasn't trying to like ring alarm bells about Andrew Heaney. Like, like I said, like best sign of the offseason. I like the signing from the start. I thought it was a really good way, like cheap way to find innings. And he's been pitching well above our expectations of him. He's probably the guy who's gonna net us the most at the deadline when it comes to like shipping guys out.
Right.
But yeah, sometimes you just can't locate, and that was the case tonight. Like, no pitcher's gonna be very good if they can't locate their pitches. And so, you know, uh Heaney will recover. He's a professional. Uh you really just hope it doesn't become a trend, but I'm not really worried.
Yeah, and me neither. Right. And look, he could have been near perfect tonight. He could have given up 1 run in 9 innings, and he would have lost. So,
Yeah.
sure. I mean, again, if a Pirate starter gives up 5 runs, it- I mean, it's 99.9% sure that he's losing
It was
that game.
over. Yeah. It
Yeah.
was game. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, once he gave up the third run, it was, pretty good chance that, it was lights out, and it was. Um, so, yeah, it's hard for me to get worked up about any of our pitchers not being great because it doesn't matter. Paul
Yeah.
Skeens is pitching like a Cy Young
Mhm.
winner, and
Mhm.
he's got 3 wins.
It's just, it's not, we have to talk about it. But yeah, I mean, like, again, if this is, again, if the worst start of the season we get from Ashcraft is like, sorry, not from Ashcraft, we're going to talk about him later, but from Heaney, is like 5 runs, 5 innings against the Diamondbacks in May. Like that's pretty good for what we got for him.
Right,
I think, again, we don't win in Arizona. I think the disappointing thing is that the Diamondbacks are off a 5-game losing streak,
right.
and it's like everything fell apart for us. The
Yeah,
pitching
yeah.
fell
This
apart, the
was the
hitting
time to
fell
get them
apart.
right. Yeah, they're not pitching well. They're not playing well. And it's like maybe you can help extend their slump, but nah,
Yeah,
we're the get right team. You want to bump up your stats. Wait till the Pirates come to town. Your
mm,
pitchers will look like Cy Young winners. Your hitters will look great. It's.
mm. And thank you for the 7 months, Mark. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
Pre- Appreciate you joining the crew.
yeah,
Um,
exactly. Mark's great.
I don't.
Mark's always in the chat.
Yeah, I don't want to harp too much on the offense again, but this is just looking at the stats just makes me mad. There is no universe where you let Ryan Nelson go 6.2 innings
Mm.
of shutout ball on 84 pitches. That's atrocious.
Yeah.
Like,
You,
that is
you
so
know who
bad.
used to have those kind of numbers? Greg Maddux, right?
Yeah,
That was Greg Maddux stuff, right? There's no way in the world that we should make that guy look like Greg Maddux. And we made Quinn Priester look good. You know,
that was
Uh,
depressing, man.
yeah, yeah. I mean, you know, so yeah,
Yeah,
it's just yeah. I mean, yeah, it's just like Haney didn't have his best day. Big deal. It didn't matter.
yeah.
So
Well, let's get to the one positive of the night because a guy did make his MLB debut. Braxton Ashcraft gets called up, and he comes up and he delivers 3 shutout innings out of the bullpen. The Pirates bullpen has been extremely taxed. Like Ryan does the bullpen breakdowns on Twitter, and he was like really asking the question like, where did these innings come from? Just because of how many innings this guy they have to pitch. Our next off day is not till Thursday, and so Braxton really saved us a lot here, while also looking really good in his MLB debut. What'd you see from Braxton?
yeah, I loved it. It was the best thing that came from this game. It was the only bright spot, and not just that. Hey, a kid comes in, makes his major league debut, and does well. He saved the bullpen. Right. I mean, and again, they're going to be busy tomorrow. Burrows is pitching. They're not going to and Burrows can be great tomorrow, and they're not going to let him go into the 6th inning. So,
Mhm.
you needed these innings. Everybody got a day off. And now you can sort of, look ahead and say, they're okay. People are going to get Thursday off too. So, I can pitch somebody Tuesday and Wednesday knowing that they're going to get a day off. So, yeah, it was just such a great thing. It's one of those, little subtle things that you might not notice. But yeah, I mean, because that bullpen was wiped out. There was, everybody was just more thin. Now, some
Mhm.
of those guys, now it's like Santana's now had 2 days off in a row. Uh, uh,
Mhm.
Bednar. Yeah. So yeah, but it's, yeah, right. You can, yeah, Wentz will be available. Ferguson, so yeah, it was a great thing. It was a much needed thing, and he looked good. He looked
Yeah, he
good. Good
did.
for him. Right. I mean, he only gave up 2 hits. I think he walked one, maybe two. I mean,
Yeah.
um, he looked like a competent pitcher. He looked confident. It looked like the stuff will play. Good for him. I look forward to seeing, more of him. I mean,
Yeah.
I would love to see him doing some sort of piggyback thing with Burrows but
Mhm.
if you can give us 2, 3 innings, every couple days, that's fantastic because this bullpen desperately needs it.
Yeah, and I understand the appeal of like having a lot of guys you can go to start, and I know that's what the Pirates are trying to do with Ashcraft. But it's kind of like this, where like he's able to go 3 innings, and I can only imagine like if the Pirates from the beginning had Majinski, they had Ashcraft in his bullpen at the start of the year. Bubba Chandler came up immediately. Just like, obviously it doesn't fix the offense, but I really would have been interested to see like how that just helps make the bullpen better because the bullpen's slightly below average.
Yeah, I mean,
how
this
it helped the
bullpen has cost us
rotation.
some games, that's for sure. It's
Like
not. It's mostly been the offense, but
I
you
would
know,
have
there's
I would have loved to have seen Ashcraft up at the beginning of the season working out of the bullpen. Whether you want to get him 1 or 2 innings, like again, like use the Luis Ortiz role. I've mentioned it before for
right.
Brzezinski. I've mentioned it. It was just such a great role for us last year. I want us to come back, and so I'm really hoping that like we see that again.
Yeah, I do too. And I think I just want to answer Mark's question. I think Felix Hernandez went like 12 and 13 one year and won the Cy Young, and I think DeGrom, I think DeGrom may have went 12 and 10 or something like that. But there have been, I think, I'm pretty sure there's been some losing records for Cy.
Yeah, I mean, did Degrom not win when he had the?
I mean, he had 2 years in a row where they didn't score any runs from him. And I know he won. I know he won at least one side. Did he win two? And I know like Felix Hernandez, he may have been 13 and 13 or something like that. But
Yeah,
I guess I could have researched that before I answered.
yeah.
But it feels like there have been a few. I don't know.
I don't see Skeens winning just as long as Wheeler keeps doing what he's doing, which is fair because Wheeler's been the best pitcher in baseball. But
Mm.
you know, I'm a Skeens could also go into a different gear. He's
Yeah.
just that good.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean, again, the problem for Skeens is he's pitching for a terrible team, and I know that wins is a stat we all agree are, don't matter, but it still is jarring when you're like, oh, let's see, this guy's 15 and 7 and this guy's 3 and 17, even though the rest of their numbers are the same, right? And when you're pitching for a winning team that's, battling for the playoffs as opposed to a team that was out of it before Memorial Day, these are things that, voters, take into consideration. So, or at
Hmm.
least influences their decisions. You're right. Well, we can't get too outraged if Zach Wheeler wins Cy Young. It's based on what's going now, regardless of what Skeens does.
Yeah. Well, that's how you know we've really run out of stuff to talk about because we have now gotten into a Cy Young discussions about pitchers
Yeah.
who haven't even pitched today.
Right.
Again, really happy for Ashcraft. I'm really happy you got his MLB debut. I'm glad it went well. But that's pretty much all I have about today's game. Unless you have something else to add, I think
I have nothing about this game, but I do want to talk about and I'm sorry you weren't there at the tailgate. We had so
Yeah, I
much
am sad
fun.
too.
We had so much fun, and uh, everybody was so great. Like I said, met some of Jim's family. I think I met Donardo's cousin. I mean, gosh, John and Zach and Mike. Zach, tell your mom I said hi. Uh, uh, we just so Harley was there. Amanda and Ricky couldn't make it because Amanda had a little medical scare, but she seems to be doing well, so that's good. But I mean, people were just so warm and welcoming, so appreciative of us, and I mean, I was just grateful. It's really um odd, to me. Like I walk in and people are like, dog, and I'm like, I'm I'm just an idiot that they let talk on here once in a while just because they don't want to have to do every show. So it's fun that people are just like so involved with us. We have such a great group of fans and chat members, and I just want to tell you I'm grateful. I enjoyed meeting you. I look forward to the next one. And a little shout out to Sean, who
Yeah, thank you, Sean.
yeah,
I have no clue what day it even is anymore, which means it was a
yeah.
great tailgate. I encourage everyone and all the viewers to try and make it to the next one. Plus, we actually won. Yeah, I think the Pirates are 2-0 on tailgate days, right? Didn't the Pirates win last year when we were there?
Yes, they did.
Yeah,
I
a
think I believe.
disgustingly hot day.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, it was 100 degrees. I remember Cruz hit one into the. I think he hit one into the river that day. Um,
Yeah,
So yeah, I mean, so far, in the past two anyway, we've been good luck. But I mean, it's just been fun. It was. I mean, it's really, here you're kind of just seeing these little you know, Twitter handles and Yahoo, that sort of thing. And then you meet these people. I talked with fathers and sons and brothers and sisters. It's a family thing going on and friends. People have known each other forever who go to these games together and follow the Pirates together. And it's just nice because a lot of times, we talk about this all the time. We feel like we're just saying the same things over and over again. When I'm doing a podcast, I'm just talking to you, right? That's what I feel. I'm talking to my buddy Neil, and we're complaining about the stuff that we, are always complaining, and it's fun, and I love doing it. But the chat's going on here, and we've got a lot of followers and that sort of thing. But when you meet them in person, and they're just so genuine, they're so nice, they're so welcoming. It was a lot of fun. I really appreciate it. I love being part of NS9 and the community we've built, and I look forward to seeing you guys again.
And it was a little heartbreaking for me not to I wasn't able to come because I enjoyed the first one so much, and so I'm glad it was a great time. And also, so shout out for Sean Hooper not only for donating the money, but and Sean, you can correct me, but I'm pretty sure you're from California, which means you traveled quite a ways to come see us. So I'm glad everyone had a good time, and hopefully I'll be at the next one. But yeah, tomorrow we get Mike Burrows versus Corbin Burns, 9:40 p.m. Game time. So we're gonna be out late.
Maybe we get a big Cruz game.
Yes,
Cruz has hit Burns well, so let's hope that continues. That it wasn't just a fluke. Yeah, I mean, and I'm really interested to see how Burrows follows up that first start.
Yeah, I don't know if I'll be able to say it for the whole thing, but I'm going to watch Burrows just because I want to see how he does. And
we're terrible, but still interesting in a way, right?
It's like a car crash. You can't take your eyes off.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, thank you everyone for joining us tonight. We'll see you guys tomorrow, and let's go Bucks.
Let's go Bucks.
All right, that wraps up this episode of North Shore 9. Thanks so much for tuning in. Whether you're listening on the podcast or catching us on YouTube, if you enjoyed the show, please give this video a thumbs up, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. It really helps us grow. And if you're listening on the podcast, a quick review goes a long way in helping others find the show. Plus, be sure to tell a friend about us. There's always room for more here in the NS9 community. And for those looking to support us a little more, consider joining our Patreon, become an MVP member, and get exclusive perks while helping us continue to bring you more of the Pirates content you love. Thanks again for all your support, and let's go Bucks.